our approach to money and moving from 9-to-5 math, mainstream math, to millionaire maker math. Today, we're going to be talking about our Spring into Action campaign and asking you all how your year is coming along. Very happy to have Laurel with us today and very excited to have all of you joining us on all of our social platforms. As always, this call is interactive, so we're going to be asking everyone, whether on our social channels and the chat box below, to type in your questions. Let us know where you're coming from. And this week, what we want to know is, if your year isn't going the way you planned it, what is the number one thing you're planning on resetting? Laurel, I know last week you brought up this topic. We're talking about what you need to do to commit and take into action. And you were very blunt last week deciding and telling people that sometimes you have to course correct. You don't like that word pivot, but you need to course correct and reset. So as people are talking in the chat box below, letting us know what their number reset action is, let us know what your thoughts are about that and what people need to consider.
Absolutely. Hi, all you folks. There's a few logging in from Texas, the Caribbean. Again, so when we talk about reset, I mean, we're now heading into May. Can you believe it? Like this weekend is May 1. After that, it's going to get harder and harder and harder to hit a reset for those 2021 goals. So right now, you still have the space, because you're only 4 months in, to hit a total reset. So do you need to reset? Is it income? Are you still sitting on lazy assets? Are there just, cleanup that you need to do? So between, getting your entities, your trust, by the way, Scott and team are open for business, taking trust business as we speak. So we will actually bring Scott on. Let's bring Scott on next week. Let's talk about that, because we will be live together actually next week, and we'll talk about that. So is it part of your cleanup? Are you doing refis? And a lot of people in the real estate are still doing refis. And then via that vehicle, you're moving the properties into an entity, which are then held in trust. So is it reset, like what I call your infrastructure? Are you resetting your income and income goals? Are you resetting your lazy assets? Getting off of the debt program? We are not Susie Orman. You're not going to go race and get out of debt. You've got to get that pattern of making money and investing money. And right now with Flip and all the options that it has, it actually closely works with Horizon Trust, the self-directed IRA company. You can easily do, and they have a digital currency new smart portfolio. So you can actually go through them to get in digital currencies. You can go through your Roth to get in digital currencies. So making and investing has never been easier. And then for a lot of you, as you stockpile more and more cash and flip, that's when you're out doing your money rules, right? I'm just kind of giving you the sequence. You're doing your money rules, saying, where should I put my money? If you want to start, I'm going to say easiest is to start with like construction loans, right? First position loans, easy stuff like that Tim does. I didn't go into real estate that way. If you want to get more aggressive and go to equity, you go do what Justin's doing. But you say, I got to start getting some money rules. And again, most of you doing it with other people is going to be, I'm going to say, a safer path than just going out there on your own. And the more you actually fly into their markets and work with them, the more you're going to see how all of this works. So what is your reset? So read some of those off. I'm not seeing much. You need to reset income. So again, specifically, is it making more income? Then again, you got to go to the next layer, right? You're peeling back the onion. So if income is your issue, now let's like, what's going to make your income? I think if you've not been to our marketplace and you are regularly on this broadcast, I would be shocked. Now, those of you in Millionaires in Training, you have got to get more active over here. We have thousands and thousands of members and not enough here on our broadcast and Facebook Live. So I'm actually going to, after this, go live into just that group for a little while and have a chat with them about just engaging. Like showing up, I love that saying, but showing up is 90% of the battle. And a lot of you don't even do the basics. So make sure, that you are showing up, going back to the marketplaces, going back to the graduate marketplaces. But within that context, if I need to reset income, what do you need to do? Do you need to get your database built? Do you need to get that landing page? Do you need to get initial opt-in? If you go to Integrated Wealth Systems, we still use our quiz as one of our top opt-ins, having people take a quiz about their financial personality. So what do you need to do to hit a reset button? Is it marketing? Is it sales? Is it your offers? And again, fast cash and showing up into what we have provided for you will be part of that reset. Anything you're seeing out there, Thomas?
We had a couple of questions actually from people who came to AskLaurel.com and specifically asked questions for this week. One of the questions that came up is, how do you reset moving away from a 9-to-5 job and creating a business? What's like the first thing you would do?
Well, the first thing I would do is put my job in perspective, right? Is what is your commitment, right? That's there. And just do the commitment. I remember when I was walking away from Chevron and going to work on the Rich Dad Poor Dad camp, I was still needing to transition. So like before work, lunch, and immediately after, all became about me and my business. So a lot of it is your time management. You've got to, just commit and carve your time back. So if you are somebody who is, on salary and you have a certain expectation, I have a ton of clients that are in jobs and doing very successful 6-figure businesses. They can do both, especially with the work at home, because you have complete control of your calendar. You actually don't have to show up necessarily. So I would divide your time. The other one that is really important, just as important as that, is really get clear about your identity. Like, you have to imagine, I was at Chevron as an exercise physiologist and working in the health and safety department, going to be a cash flow master distributor, teaching people how to play a game that could create them to be millionaires. Like, I had a huge identity crisis. So I just started identifying only with, I worked with the Rich Dad Poor Dad team. And you have to imagine, nobody even knew what Rich Dad Poor Dad was in 1996. So, I'm transitioning back to my original roots. I'm going back into the education of business and finance. And this is what I'm doing. And all my identity and time was focused on what I was doing. And then you got to lay down commitments. So even if I only had 5 or 10 people show up, I booked out months and months in advance of game nights. And I would just market the game nights. And once a week, I would do game nights. From there, I would call and do Ask Sell Ask, and I bring it right into a coaching system. So like, it's sort of a gradual transition, and it's not. Like, psychologically, you behave as if you are already on your own. This is all you do. You don't have any conversations while I'm in this transition and I'm blah, blah, blah. No one cares about that but you. So keep your conversation to yourself and keep your marketing conversation strong and practice your Ask Sell Ask and move. But a lot of it is time allocation and identity, and then get your offers done and get out there and start making money. The fastest thing you're going to sell is your time. And you're going to say, well, hell, that's the thing I have the least of, but it's the fastest. You don't have to build a product. You don't have to go write a book. You don't have to have a podcast. You don't have to have those things. You can be an affiliate of mine, because I have those things, and use some of our stuff as lead gen and then take them back to yourself. But you're going to have to figure that part out. Okay, what's another question?
So always have a number of people who are asking this. So I'm actually going to put my own little spin on this. People always want to know how do you become profitable in business? The question I want to have from you, Laurel, is, what is the one mistake that business owners make when it comes in either not being profitable or in becoming profitable?
You don't sell enough. I mean, it's down to every business that it's you're not selling enough, and or on the opposite side, on the expense side, your expenses are too high. So you either got to carve your expenses and pay for what's necessary. Like, I'm getting involved in a company, and I'm just seeing them build up this huge C-suite, right? Chief this, chief this, chief this. And I'm going 6 figures, 6 figures, 6 figures, 6 figures. I'm thinking, you haven't even done a project yet. Like, it's way too early to build up what's called the C-suite when you're that early on. The expense load to handle that is atrocious. So for example, like when I bought my plane, that was an enormous expense load to the company. Now, buying a building was even bigger, about equal expense loads, huge expense loads to the company. But it was all sales and marketing that had to drive it. They had to drive the right kind of leads, and those leads had to go get sales. I mean, it's pretty, I say, cut and dry from that standpoint. But in the beginning, which is why you'll do a lot of the work and not outsource a lot of your work. Number one is for quality and the process, and make sure that there's actually refinement to the process of how you're delivering. And then number two is, again, it's that P&L. I mean, right? You've got to outsell your expenses. And a lot of you're not doing the ask. You're doing the ask, you're doing the tell, you're not doing the next ask. You're not asking for the money. And your prices are way too low. Which reminds me about one of our fun competition girls. I haven't heard from her in a few days. I have to see where she is and her making money. And we're gonna be bringing the summer challenge to you. Is how much money can you make throughout the summer? So we're really going to be putting it straight front and center in front of you. Is how much money can you be making through the summer? And some of you I saw also in the chat, you need to add an extra source of income. So again, a lot of times when you think about that, you think outside of your lane versus stay in your lane and sell more of, or a different bundle of what you have. So what else can you sell? What else can you make attractive to the marketplace to sell more? And in fact, it kind of comes into our lesson today, which is in back to this whole month has been about Yes Energy. And in chapter 15, page 145, is the problem with perfect. And the problem with perfect hugely can affect your profits because some of you won't launch. You're just like waiting for it to be perfect, waiting for it to be perfect, and it's not going to get any more perfect. It is what it is. And really working on your sales and getting more sales in the door is going to be more powerful than perfect. In fact, the power of imperfection is what I talk about. Again, page 145, you can go through and read it. But really, I talk about just that perfect creates stagnation. There's a whole chapter on stagnation. The microeconomic crisis that happens with it, and the power to do less, really do less and make more, which means there is a leverage part. But in the beginning, it's you having to craft, how's your SLS going to work? What are your offers to your community? What's really going to resonate to your community? And, other ways that we do it is we always keep our pulse on our podcast. I mean, Thomas oversees that, our affiliate program, getting more and more affiliates to actually send or be a part of what we're doing reciprocals. I'm doing several of those in the month of May, where you're going to be seeing other people's stuff. And I will be, going to their list with our marketplace offer. So a lot of you, it's just deepening what you're doing to get that profitability and new income streams. Like a lot of you, if you like, I have a few clients that are actually doing VIP weekends and, charging more just for a VIP weekend, bringing your clients together for that kind of a situation, and versus going wide. Some of you go, add something that is completely a tangent to what you're doing. I would say stay in your lane and beef up your lane.
All right, one more. Oh, sorry. I was going to say one more here. Stephanie was asking about real estate. Obviously, right now we're seeing a housing market, real estate market that's appreciating greatly. Her question generally asks, how would one get started in investing in more properties in real estate?
Go put in offers. I mean, again, I'm going to have you guys start thinking with some common sense. You want more property, go put in more offers. If you're not the one on the streets doing the offers, then you align with an agent, or you become the agent. So in Justin's case, for example, in Kansas, that project, he is the agent. He's an agent in various states. We're aligned to one in the Boise market, and we do the development. So again, you got to pick your strategy. What are you going to do a fix and flip? Are you going to do a buy and hold? Are you going to bring in some partners? Tim and I, we just closed on a RV park in the last week, 2 different sides of it, and we'll be building that out, and we're going to hold that. We're going to buy, hold, and cash flow an RV park out right outside of Boise, Idaho, because they're sold out. There's a waiting list of over 1.5 years for RV parks. So we found the right niche and we bought it, and we're going to be rehabbing and putting that up. And I think we're looking at potentially 42 to 43 trailers that will be able to fit on that lot. Multiply that times, let's just say an average of, in that market, let's just say we can get 500 a month times 42. That's $21,000 a month minus our utilities and very, very little overhead. That'll be a nice cash flow machine. So how do you start? Go put in offers. Find what you want to do and put in offers. And a lot of you, if you're not using your coach, all of our coaches know how to do this. And if you are not with the right coach, then you call Damon, email Damon, and get changed up to a coach who can actually coach you through that. Awesome. So again, some of the homework we want you to do, this Spring into Action campaign, we're going to keep it. Problem with perfect, do less, make more. Page 145. And again, the lessons are just noticing your perfection. So let's dig into it a little more on that. If you're somebody who is, has that, I got to have it perfect, attitude, you for sure need to hang out here more, because you got to get coached through it. You just have to notice where you're really stalling yourself and what you are wanting to be perfect. Your time will never be perfect. Your time is what it is. We all have the same clock. You choose how to use it. And I'd say the inefficiency of time, I could do weeks of a lesson on that. I mean, the amount of, just whether, you have hands-free devices and you're talking as you drive, while you are getting ready to get up an hour earlier, stay up an hour later, how you use your lunch times. I mean, notice the amount of time that you spend that doesn't create a result. And so that's where I see a lot of your imperfection, and trying to get it perfect and being in like the perfect situation for the perfect thing. I mean, I'm cutting deals on, I'm at Logan Spring football game and standing up away from the crowd, like talking about a deal. Well, why? Because that's the only time I could get that group of people together. Yes, was it like loud background noise? Yeah, but people want things to move forward. So how do you move from that stuck perfection need? Yeah, two big things I would do is I would set deadlines. Like as soon as McGraw-Hill will get this contract done, we will set a hard deadline for that book to launch into bookstores. And so from that date, we will back engineer exactly how we're going to launch that book into the public and what our campaigns will be. So hitting deadlines force you into action as long as you are rigorous and do not change those deadlines. So if it's the whole system, right, McGraw and the books and printing and all of that, if it's the whole system that you like, we can't control their printing, then you can shift. But if it's you don't get a shift because things aren't perfect. Your launch pad's not perfect. Your what am I going to do once I go out and sell the book isn't perfect. Deadlines will break up your perfection need because you got to launch no matter what. And then the other one is your pre-sales, because pre-sales should be attached to that deadline. So by pre-selling, you attach to a deadline, it just has to be good enough to launch and you got to get it out the door. Like I see a lot of our clients really attempting to do some summits and they keep moving their summit date. You can't move a summit date too frequently, if at all. I mean, we're not cancelers. We may have to adjust our timing. We've adjusted our marketplace back to every 3 weeks. We'll keep it there from here on out. We pushed it. I pushed it. I wanted to see if we could do one every 2 weeks. It wasn't enough time to fill the room properly. So we adjusted. So you can make adjustments, but to just stop and say, like I have one person who I'm supposed to be in their summit now 4 different times. I can promise you the marketing has got to be complicated and sort of useless because the people are saying, well, I'll pencil it in, but she'll probably cancel again. She'll cancel again. She'll cancel again. So you're getting into that cry wolf pattern where people are going to expect it versus expect you just to go. And I've told a lot of my clients that I'm helping them with the summit is I don't care if you only have 10 people, record it. You can always replay it, use it as a masterclass and get really great content. Then try to get your market to follow you, rescheduling. So again, pre-orders with deposits and deadlines will help break up that need for perfection. Just do a book, do it in a weekend and say by noon next Tuesday, you'll have chapter, 1, 2, 3 done and ready to send out to us. So really put yourself and harness yourself into tight deadlines. You'll be good. Let's see, what other things do people have out here in the chat? You struggle with staffing. Welcome. And good job, Kim, on doubling your sales. And you are correct. Finding people, Kim, is a pain in the ass as long as our lovely people in Washington continue this, let's give free money to everybody who sit on their ass. That's a problem. We've had ads, we've had 9 people say they're coming for an interview and no one shows up. We got the same problem in Boise, Idaho. I don't think there's a person, Justin's got the same problem in Kansas. As long as unemployment stays the way that it is, not gonna work, right? Because they can stay on unemployment and still get by. Are we talking about motivated people? No. I think that, COVID has done one thing. It's divided the line between who has a work ethic and who doesn't have a work ethic, right? People who just want to sit around and do nothing, or people who want to move and do something and actually change lives. So I would agree. It's a hell of a problem. I would just say stay out there. So one of the things we did last week, or I think it was just earlier, maybe even yesterday, we put ads in new places. So again, we've been on an ongoing recruiting. I don't know that we've ever in the history of our company had an ongoing ad for openings. But getting people to show up is a challenge. So we would agree. I don't know other than that what to tell you. I would just go wider. I mean, we're using Indeed, Craigslist, Facebook. I think those are the ones we're out to right now. So whatever's in your area, and then get referrals, if you can.
Well, and Laurel, just to that point real quick, because you've done both, right? You've had team both locally in the office, but then you've also had it set up to where you've had international talent that you've had working remotely. So maybe speak to both sides of that as to, what you saw with the remote model versus the on-site model.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of on-site. I love the team rallying around goals and, getting on whiteboards and, designing things together. So it kind of depends how your organization works when things are, can be further remote. I don't know, every productivity study, everyone in Microsoft can stand out there with Gates and say that, he gets more productivity away. I can guarantee you, we have executives, we have people that have worked and said 100% they are not as productive or focused when they are working at home. They got laundry, they got kids, they've got groceries, they could go take a walk. So there's a new productivity study out of Stanford, and there's a mask study out of Stanford that also speaks to mask being as useless as it is. So, but Stanford just did some awesome productivity studies on, for most teams that work in teams, it's not working as well. So they can say it, but I think, it's up to each group. It's up to you as a leader of your organization, how you want to do it and how you rally your teams on a regular basis. So I've seen it both ways. But I still, even in the remote, you still got, potential productivity issues. Up to you. I want to work with someone who's learning to do affiliate marketing for many things. So again, I'd say you have the man right here. So we do an affiliate call every Friday at 12 noon. We probably give you more than most affiliate programs give you, and you should be rinsed and repeating what we do and getting that handled. But you also have to have the technology that goes with the affiliate program. So, we went off of Infusion out to another platform. Now we're back in Infusion, which is Keap for all of you. And so as long as your systems are built properly, you guys can all run affiliate programs. Is there any other questions that are out on Ask Laurel? So again, this is your reset. You're going to have to either give up your goals, which I am never a fan of you giving up your goals, but we're also the realists to say, if you don't reset it and have some reality to what you're doing, it's just going to be another struggle, another grind. This month coming up in May, we've got 2 marketplaces. We have the 6th and 7th and the 27th and the 28th. So we have 2, again, 3 weeks apart. And because we had already planned a graduate marketplace, again, graduates, you got 3 marketplaces you can attend and work on. So again, we're doing our part to put you in the, I would say, in the space of being able to make money. You got to show up and actually come and do your ask till asks. Is there another question out there?
In terms of questions, Stephanie asked about what are some of the ways that you would involve your family with your business so that they're seeing what's happening and are changing their conversation about money as well?
Include them. Like I just got back from Georgia. I spoke to Logan's football team. He was a huge part of helping, set that up locally and following up, being the point of contact. I've always traveled my kids. My kids are, I'm very visibly working in front of them. Our conversations is aligned in our household as it is out here. As far as working and doing things, whatever they are most comfortable, with or have that skill set for. All of your kids, though, when they're younger, like pre-7, all of your kids can be models. And what a lot of our clients do, I've done it now for 21 years, is build calendars. So over the holiday, we build calendars. We have our company branding inside of there, have my kids inside of there. They're legally documented as models at local modeling agencies. Do they have to go out and get big modeling jobs? Yeah, if they do, they do. My son got a big one when he was about 4 years old with the Gap. Happened to work out, put a bunch of money in his Roth IRA. So that way you can employ them to get the Roth IRA to start getting them involved. But it's just got to be part of that conversation. I'd also say you use the dinner table, or in the weekends, use the breakfast brunch table, and you have those money conversations. In February, we talked about the love and money contracts and starting to have those conversations in the household. So you've got to include them. I would set up that, have all of your kids should have separate checking savings accounts. If you're really to the next level, then all your kids would have a flip account. So they actually can put money into a flip Wall Street. They have the little app on their phone so they can watch the money being traded. So it's up to you. You got to lead it though. Even when Kyle and I, come out with our book, 2022 will be a huge year of legacy and family work that we'll be doing, across the globe, because it's all in principle the same. But parents have to lead it. Even when we come out with a homeschool course, guess what? Parents lead that too. So it won't be the school system who's going to say, hey, we really need to, teach kids financial literacy and teach them how it really works out here and what an arbitrage is. And that, going to school to get a job isn't the only thing they can do. They actually can go be an entrepreneur. So that's going to be left to the devices of the parents who care. Great question. I think there's a few in the chat. Thomas, you want to read those out?
Yeah, Jenna has a good question here. Are there particular methods for writing down your goals to make them effective?
Yeah, write them down. I mean, Bob Proctor has these cool little goal cards, and then he laminates them. And they, kind of look like this, like a little values card. It's like the size of a card. Laminates them, and you write your like big, hairy, audacious goals. Like, what are the big things that you're going to achieve? And those are the things you could carry around with you. And it's just part of your business plan. I mean, your goals in business plan is the big strategies. What are the, in ours, we have 6 streams of revenue that we document and we report on, whether they're, working, not working, and then of course, correct. So some of you, if you're not used to it, again, I'd get one of those big calendar charts. I'd put it visually in front of you. A lot of times you guys are using this too much, unless you're used to using this, where you have a task list and you're constantly here, but you got to have them constantly in front of you. I have clients who actually put their goals, their top goals, straight up on a screensaver. So every time you open up your computer and your laptop or whatever device, it's right there in front of you. You have to have reminders. It's not just about simply writing it down and it's going to magically appear. And then also that should be tied to your calendar, because what you do every day should have alignment to what those goals are. All right. And without,
I want to go through that as well too, because it's not just about writing things down, but also establishing it in a way that it is achievable.
Yeah. And inside of your membership platform, which I think majority of you all out here are clients. If you're not, become a client. You can do that by as little as coming to the marketplace for $97. We have the 120-day plan, which that should be everywhere. So, Steve's out listening. If it's not in the fast cash, we can go ahead and put the 120-day planning out there. That's just a form that we use. Again, what are the big goals? And then how do you break those goals down? And to have a really good goal, it needs to be SMART. So that's specific. Like, when's the deadline? It needs to be measurable. It needs to be achievable. So it can't be like pie in the sky. I'm not making any money. I'm going to do $1 million in the rest of 2021. I doubt it. Your systems aren't even built for that, and much less a team. It has to have some, like, the reality to it. So it has to be realistic and have some timelines to it. So SMART goals help you just kind of keep track. If you notice, a lot of those have a timeline and a reality to them, right? Which creates a SMART goal. And again, having a coach go through those SMART goals, put them into our business plan. And then from the business plan, you get into execution. And day after day after day, you got to execute to those goals. It just doesn't magically happen. I think a lot of you think that being an entrepreneur, you're looking at people who are on the other side of the first 6-figure startup mode. your first 6 figures, you are going to be doing a lot because you got to get the money in the door. You got enough sales so you can hire the team. And then at the tipping point of that time, your time diminishes as you have the income to hire more people. So some of you are in that, I'd say that little triangle right now of wanting the time freedom, but you're not going to get it unless you get more sales in the door.
And I think just to take it to the next step, because Kwa had a question about for coaching, do you have to have a business or is it just help with clarity? I know when I work with students on like a challenge, we get very clear about what people's goals are from the beginning. So whether or not you have a business, setting goals for your wealth plan is first and foremost what you have to do. Now, we always say that, having a business makes it easier to get there, but not necessarily a requirement. So I don't want to step on your toes or anything there, Laurel, but basically, having a clear understanding of what your goals are is one of the first and most important steps you take on this path towards financial freedom.
Yep. Yeah. And so we're not just business and financially coaching you. I mean, we look at all the other areas of your life, and especially, there isn't an area of your life that doesn't touch money. So you may have an elder parent that has issues. You may have a kid that has issues, you may have school issues, you have hiring issues, all those things affect your money. So when we say we're integrated, it's very holistic, it's all of those things. So absolutely, we coach from where you are and then take you where you got to go. Whether that's getting married, getting divorced, death, you name it, money's going to affect your family in all areas. Kelly asked a question about the baseball ad. Absolutely. I would be doing social posts about that all the time. I would add in a call to action though, Kelly, that comes back to your real estate company. So, sponsored by, I always put, sponsored by, and then I put your real estate company, and I would have a call to action for some free thing they get, free analysis or free something they get by calling in. So just put a strong call to action. And one of the things I did for years and years and years, kind of got away from it as we moved off the lake and our business moved off the lake, is we sponsored baseball, softball, track and field, you name it. We sponsored teams all the time. So Live Out Loud, Ask Laurel, all sorts of little, T-shirts and uniforms are running around at the lake still. We did that for long time, probably 15 years. We sponsor sports teams, and it's a great way to get some local business, especially for somebody like you in the real estate world. All right.
Now, I do know that, Laura, we have a number of things we want to talk about real quick about the Spring into Action contest. I'm about to put in some winners of some of the different steps that we have right now, and have you talk a little bit about, again, that contest, what people are seeing, what you're seeing, and how that's helping with people as they're moving forward in this year.
Yeah, so there you go. Awesome. So the Yes Energy Roadmap. So that is not a very big list. That is a shocking low list. So what that means is those of you who actually did an application and had an interview, right? That you won personally the roadmap. So the roadmap is not only the book, it is 4 videos and audio files of me going through the 4 very significant areas of having Yes Energy. So we call it our Yes Energy Roadmap. It's about 2 hours worth of, call it a master class. So congratulations to those who did that. And then those of you who then go on and get a friend to do it, like Kelly Owens, why aren't you out there? You need to do an application, do your interview, then you get somebody else to do it. Then you actually get the 100K blueprint. And so the blueprint is, again, 39 videos, week by week by week. What do you do to make that first 100,000? Every one of you that are regulars out here need to be winning the roadmap for yourself. And then once you get your friend to actually do the application and do the interview, you get the blueprint. So you need to be all earning that. There's not one winner. It is up to you and a friend to have done the same thing. So these are some people that have need to complete the application that just started the application. So Andrew's getting that to Thomas, and we need a lot more people doing this campaign and getting these awesome assets. Collectively, this is over a $3,000 product that you can get for yourself, and then share it as you need. All right, look at that.
So again, for those of you who are on this list, you'll see it in the chat box below as to where you're at right now. Again, there are no set amount of winners. Everyone can win, provided you take action of all the steps that we've outlined. We're also going to put this information into the social platform for the Millionaires in Training groups and some of the other ones out there. So you will be able to see where you stand and what you need to be able to do, again, to have the opportunity to get free access to the 100K Modules video series. It is incredible in what it shows you how to do. And I think the best part about it is it really demystifies the path to success. It's not an accident. It's just the opportunity that you are able to capitalize on when you do the work and you have a clear vision of where you need to be. So we have a number of people out there who are really close to being able to get that access to that prize as part of the contest. We'll put that up on Facebook as well too if you're not in the chat box below, and you'll be able to get that here before the contest ends.
All right. One sec. Okay, I got active people moving right now. Good, 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 good. So again, go to askloral.com/spring and jump back in. If you have any questions, go ahead and put Andrew's email in there. I hate to do that, but he will give you the directions for those of you that need to either finish or get a referral if you get stuck and don't know how to find your way back to how to finish the whole campaign. Andrew will get you back on track and make sure you finish, get your roadmap for those of you once you've gone through the application and interview, and then get your friend to do it. And then you get your blueprint, and then we'll continue on. Those are both very useful when you go to Fast Cash, go to laser calls, go to the 100K monthly calls as well. There is a lot that we'll continue to be doing. So this campaign is going to continue on through May. And as we head into the summer, we're going to do what we've been calling a 10-day challenge, but it's really going to grow into more of a lifestyle challenge. How do you become that entrepreneur that's just constantly making money, having instant income at all times? Maybe that's what we'll call it, our instant income challenge. And we've had people do it every day. It is changing their life by increasing that income money muscle. So with that, we're going to end it. Now, this is the end of April already. It has gone very, very quickly. As we head into May, we're going to continue our Spring into Action campaign. We're going to keep prompting you. So all of you finish your apps and go find a friend to bring in. And with that, we're going to wrap up today. And it's your birthday today. Well, happy birthday, young lady. And June is my birth month. So who knows what we'll make up by then. We'll have we're also having a big table up in Boise around then. Those of you at the big table, 21st and 22nd in Boise, Idaho, do not miss it. Michelle will be calling all of you, and she'll be putting that registration list together as we book a hotel. We're working on the hotels locally, unlike last August, where we had a pretty open runway to go over up to 100 people. For whatever odd reason, the mayor of Boise is being very strict in her lockdown of 50 people. So I don't know if it will be in Boise proper, or might have to wander outside the city somewhere. All right, you guys have an amazing day. And again, stay in touch on the Millionaires in Training Facebook group. We will see you over there as we continue. You guys have a great day. Ask questions all the time at askloral.com. Put in your name, your information, and your question. We'll be bringing them live, as you are seeing now, as we continue our Tuesday broadcast. Take care. Thanks.